Don't let them fool you. This lot are nasty to the core. Vagytok, nasty prick extraordinaire. No doubt a whole load of you out there, wherever you are, occasionally take a moment to consider that which I tell you in these vlogs. And I'm quite sure that a lot of people out there, people who know nothing or very little about this part of the world, are convinced deep down inside that I'm wont to exaggerate about the state of play which has come about as a result of 40-odd years of communist oppression. There might be some of you out there who don't believe the extreme nature of the Luftwaffe in this part of the world. Surely, they would argue, in this modern world of ours, the oh-so-sympathetic members of the left can't surely have souls as black as Gav paints them, can they? Well, maybe not all of them. That said, there are those amongst them whose desire is to take inhuman revenge upon their compatriots for the sin of refusing to subject themselves to internationalism. That is nothing short of terrifying. This is Vagytok. He is what is referred to as a publicist, a journalist by any other name, essentially. But he's a piece of work, this one. Not for him the namby-pamby, middle-of-the-road, pale red fading to pink of the sort of socialists located to the west of us. No, not a bit of it. Tota is a dedicated, a dangerously dedicated devotee of the sort of old-style communism which rid the world of many millions of innocent people for no good reason. Tota, perennially upset about the fact that the Hungarians chose to vote for a government that seeks to look out for them, can barely contain his vengeful spite. The ragtag bundle of dwarfish opposition parties have, once again, buried the hatchet long enough to line up in support behind a wholly unimpressive ditherer of the first water, Geri Karácsony. This is relevant in that it means that the opposition, by clinging to each other like Velcro, might be in with the best chance they've seen for many a year. For all their posturing and pontification about the oh-so-fucking inescapably impossible to define rule of law, the Luftwaffe have plenty within its ranks who turn the coldest of cold shoulders to the idea of the maintenance of an independent judiciary. For all the cuddly image that the Luftwaffe want to present to the West, there are darker currents running through these parties. Tota glibly wrote recently of the fact that disappointment on the part of left-wing voters may lead to the need to suspend the rule of law. He tossed this weighty comment out as though it was made of helium. This is indicative of the flippancy the Luftwaffe feel about resurrecting the horrors of the past. With all the gravity of a TripAdvisor review, Tota points out that following the need to suspend the rule of law, nasty elements of the communist secret police would temporarily fill the gap. There'll be a few months of red terror. Red terror. Yes, this man is jovially talking of nothing less than the restoration of gangs of communists torturing and shooting those who disagree or are thought to disagree with them and their masters. And no squeals of outrage from the West? What is going on? What's going on is what we've long been accustomed to. Whilst the rest wring their hands and worry about non-existent threats to democracy in Hungary, when someone comes along and openly threatens a democratically elected government and their supporters, the West pretend not to notice, as long as the threats come from a member of the Luftwaffe. Tota is recommending a return to the tactics of Bolshevism which Hungary has experienced before. Unleash the dogs of communism upon the population, take from those who have, and reverse the positions of the haves and have-nots. This is nothing less than the tactics employed by the Soviets. Tactics which led to the deaths of 100 million. And yet nothing from the West. Today, the only worthwhile change of government is that which is followed by a merciless reckoning. This is nothing other than a bloodthirsty call to arms to resurrect the bad old ways of raining down brutality and death upon those who are your compatriots. You think I might be exaggerating things? Not a bit of it. Here, there are those who would, as the Bolsheviks did, unite the armed and ignorant with the fanatically insane. If blood runs in the streets of Hungary, it'll be because the Luftwaffe, once again, have chosen to listen to people like Tota, and the West, true to past form, have opted to ignore the violence threatened by the left.